Welcome to Grow Wild Kitchen. Don't come after me. Wild food never disappoints you. This is really like a fancy product, I would say. We choose the wild always, right? It was fun. So really happy. Today we're gonna do some experiments with foraged ingredients. Blackberry season. The other day I harvested some beautiful blackberries, just a handful, 2 handfuls, something like that, because I wanted to recreate a recipe with blackberries instead. This recipe has elderberries and balsamic vinegar and maple syrup. So it's a very simple recipe and it creates a delicious, I bet, a delicious glaze that you can sprinkle on your salad, on your gourmet sandwiches. And I wanted to recreate it with elderberries as well, but the elderberries in this area, they're not doing great. So this will be a blackberry and balsamic vinegar glaze. Fancy, right? Never tried it before. This is a recipe from Fern Freud from the Forage by Fern website account. She is a very amazing forager and I take a lot of inspiration from her. She makes delicious and beautifully presented recipes, so I thought, this keeps rolling. So I thought, let's try this recipe. I made it yesterday, so you will see me experimenting. And I'm not gonna tell you the result, but I wasn't really sure about how this recipe would turn out, so I called it experiment rather than a recipe. And let's just jump right into the yesterday me who made this. We in our kitchen, I want to do a little experiment. It's not yet the recipe because we don't know if this will work. I picked about a cup of blackberries. So what we need is a cup of blackberries, some sort of sweetener. I'm using honey. I usually don't use honey at all. We have blackberries, honey, and balsamic vinegar. Look at these beautiful, beautiful blackberries here. And then we measure a cup of balsamic vinegar. And voila! A cup of balsamic vinegar. And I'm gonna use just 2 tablespoons of honey because the blackberries are already quite sweet, so we don't need too much sweetener. We're gonna add the blackberries. Woo! So it looks pretty dark. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is to boil these babies together. So let's just transfer this into a little pot. This is a little chaotic, I'm sorry. Maybe we need to add a little bit more honey. I honestly have no idea how this will work, but we're gonna boil this and see how this behaves. It's an experiment in the name of science. Okay, it kind of halved, so I guess it's almost ready. Smashing the little blackberries in. We're gonna strain everything. Here I already prepared straining station, and then we'll have everything on this little bottle that I saved. So that's it, and we're gonna just strain it slowly. Okay, this is the result. And I saved some of the pulp here. We're gonna first test the glaze and see how it tastes, and then I'll use this kind of leftover blackberries for something else. We'll see. Okay, so let's try this. I don't know how to describe this. Of course you can taste the balsamic vinegar, but it's really delicious. We need to try it on a salad, so I'm gonna make some lunch. I'm gonna make a salad and we'll try it on salad to see if this can be implemented in the everyday life dishes. The more I try it, the more I like it, to be honest. I would like Mika to try it as well. Try not to spill it. I do many experiments, herbal experiments, and I am so happy when they work. I would say 50% of the time they work and 50% I fail. But that's what experiments are about, failing, succeeding, and trying things. But this is absolutely, I would say, a success. Now, I don't know the lifespan, how do you say, the expiring date of this product, but I believe it will last long, like almost like a normal balsamic vinegar. It's quite thick. I love it. Time to make a salad. Let's try it. I used quite a lot of the glaze. Before it was kind of like this much, so maybe it's too much. We'll see. We'll now see. It's absolutely delicious. This is my new salad sauce, glaze, whatever. 1000% recommended. So proud. This is delicious. Try it if you have blackberries. Before I would use this one on my salad. I used apple cider vinegar and I infused it with rose petals, which are there, and horsetail. That's also super delicious, but it's a little bit more delicate and kind of is just a vinegar kind of condiment. But this is so juicy and kind of like umami sweet. I don't know how to explain it. I added a little label so I remember when I made it, but I think this won't last long. Chef kiss. Okay, so it's the day after from that beautiful experiment, which is now an established delicious glaze, and I am here with this guy. Those who have been here before probably have seen a video that I published where me and Mike were harvesting some sour cherries. We call them visciole in Italian. Apparently it's sour cherries. So what we've done, we harvested so many visciole, and we placed them in a jar and we added sugar, and then we left the jars in the sun for about a month now. This is the result. So I haven't added any water, so this is just the melted sugar plus the juice of the sour cherries. Don't know how much you can see. So you can keep the sour cherries inside the jar and just drink it as you go, but I'm gonna filter or strain away most of the sour cherries and place the juice in a jar and try it. This is the juice. It really looks like red wine. It smells absolutely delicious. I'm salivating. We're trying. This is God's wine. It tastes like cherries, sour cherries and lemon. So it's a little tangy. Cheers. 10 out of 10. These two experiments, this also was my first time making this sour cherry wine juice. Successful. Super successful. It has a quite intense and delicious flavor that is enough, I think, with just a little. This is absolutely delicious. I would say that I prefer this to wine in general, but don't come after me. I'm gonna strain this, I think, and then I'm gonna press the sour cherries so they will release all the juice, and then I'm just gonna compost them because they're nothing special. I could make a cake, to be honest. I'm absolutely satisfied with all of these recipes that we tried. Wild food never disappoints you. Of course, it depends what your expectations are, but once you really get to understand the different flavors, and like wild food in general is so much flavorful and it has so much depth, that with all of also the beautiful medicinal properties that we choose the wild always, right? Can you come and try this?
Super tasty.
Right?
It's perfectly balanced with
It's not really a wine, it's mostly, I think, a juice or something, but it's really like, isn't it?
It's perfectly balanced with the sugars and the acidities. I love it. Make more.
I cannot make more, but
Alright.
you liked it, so and I decided to make a bread with those leftover sour cherries. I'm gonna bring some of these goodies to my neighbor. I was really happy to make this jam and the bread with the sour cherries leftovers, and this is the blackberry jam with the blackberry we harvested. There are gonna be so many blackberries around here, so I'm gonna make so much jam. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me in this crazy experiment, and see you next time.